Warriors, welcome to episode number 311. This is the Anxiety Guy podcast, and I am Dennis Simsek. And today's podcast episode is focused highly on the inner child. I've been getting a lot of questions lately from people asking me, Dennis, what is this inner child? Well, I'm going to go into three very important things that you need to understand about your inner child today, as it focuses on healing our anxiety disorders. Now, briefly, let's touch on this inner child. When I refer to the inner child, I'm talking about your subconscious mind. When I'm talking about your subconscious mind, I'm talking also about your subconscious body. When I'm talking about your subconscious mind and body, I'm talking about perceptions and belief systems coming from your childhood. And when we're talking about these, we're talking about associations that your inner child makes that is different from your conscious adult mind. Many times people say, I've already overcome X. Well, at a logical level, yes, but at an inner child level, no. The question we have to ask ourselves is, how did the inner child get to this place of creating an association? How? Well, here's what happens. An experience happens during childhood, those early years, where we begin conditioning ourselves, programming ourselves in terms of what reality means, who we are, what's our identity. If the experience is bland in terms of an emotional intensity, then the association is not as strong. If, however, in that moment the experience comes with a high level of emotional intensity, a feeling of freezing, overwhelm, fighting, flighting, whatever it may be, then that gets recorded on your desktop computer, and it's running all the time in the background. That is the interpretations of your inner child playing out today. So you'll notice a lot of people go about their days and they say, I can overcome X. I believe I can do that. Well, when they think logically and rationally, in the background there's an icky feeling that comes with that idea. That icky feeling is the association, is the connection made by your inner child. So yes, you can have the logic and the rational thinking, but also it comes with this feeling of hesitation, vulnerability. Like, yeah, that would be nice, but no, right? So we understand that as we go through the day, we were programmed through feelings and emotions more so than the experience itself. Therefore, to reprogram ourselves, whatever we are doing in our healing methods, we have to make sure that it comes with a certain amount of feeling and emotion that can match the feeling and emotion that was created by the trauma when you were younger. You can't do CBT without putting your heart into it. You can't do NLP without being fully invested. You can't be doing hypnosis or self-hypnosis, guided hypnosis, doesn't matter, without being fully absorbed and not being in your head. Because there's a big difference between being in your mind and being in your head. Your head, unconscious. Your mind, conscious. Now, here are the three things I need you to understand when it comes to your inner child's subconscious mind and body. And I must say, this video looks good on YouTube. I'm really excited about this, guys. Number one, he or she is not quick to accept new ideas. No kidding, Dennis. I've been suffering from anxiety for as long as I can remember, right? Well, at least you know what doesn't work. At least you know what doesn't work, okay? A lot of people want to have a new beginning, start over, a new chapter, but they keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again. Therefore, they meet with a familiar place called the addiction to suffering over and over again. Don't make the same mistakes in your new beginning. So this inner child does not accept new ideas very quickly. Number 2, your inner child desires that you focus your attention on the physical complaints, hence stay within the realm of the addiction to suffering, hence stay protected from making similar mistakes as you have in the past. So, if we continue to complain, if we continue at a conscious and unconscious level to see the worst in everything, if we continue to pick out the threats rather than the safety within those things, that's what the inner child wants. Because fear is a familiar feeling and emotion that the inner child believes he or she has to carry on with them. The moment a person starts relaxing, it's like death to the inner child. It's like suicide. And the inner child feels like they're going to lose something, even physical, social, doesn't matter. So the inner child is threatened by not complaining about things because that creates a state of neutrality, which creates a state of pleasantness what the inner child is not used to. How important is this? It's everything. As you can see, we're going beyond anxiety. The third thing I need you to understand is that your inner child wants you to continue believing in old ideas, such as picking up things the right way or you'll hurt yourself. Stop playing the sport that hurt you in the past, and so on. Since the longer you stay attached to these ideas, the greater the chance of re-injuring yourself, hence the mighty effect that the subconscious ideas have on our physical capabilities. The inner child says, "You're going to go play that sport? No, don't you remember what happened last time? You were shooting basketball hoops and you could not make a single basket and you felt horrible about yourself. Do you want to feel that horrible again?" Boom, there's the injury. The fear is more dangerous than the physical activity itself. Do you understand? I'm going to say this again because it's so important. The fear is more dangerous than the physical activity itself. When you lose the fear of doing that sport, when you lose the fear of going into that environment, when you lose the fear of social interaction, you no longer have to deal with the physical counterparts to fear. This is where we're headed. There's not enough people out there that have made the connection between feeling, emotion, trauma, past experience, heavy emotional bag that we're carrying in the mind and body, and the physical complaint. We're still focusing on symptoms. We're still looking for structural issues. We're still looking for something to take it away in this moment, or else I won't commit to it. That's your problem. This is your inner child. This is your subconscious mind. This is your subconscious body. These are the records that keep playing on that record player over and over and over again in the background as you go about your day. So the next time you get an icky feeling by the inner child, the next time you get a moment of hesitation, the next time you want to do something the same way you have every single time, you've thought about it the same way you have every single time, remember that that's not you. That's not me. That's just a part of you. That's just a part of you. Do you have to follow it? No. If you've read F Coping, Start Healing, you'll understand how important it is to not only reframe your past, but to respond in the present moment. So, respond to that inner child. Show that inner child that it's time for an upgrade. Show that inner child that it's time to update our belief systems. We no longer believe the same things about ourselves in this world that we did when we were younger. Do it on a daily basis. And let me tell you something else. When it comes to your inner child, you don't have to be nice to him or her all the time. Everybody feels like it's got to be all loving all the time, right? You're walking around with dizziness, so unsteady, right? Losing your memory. Get pissed off. You don't have to love your dizziness. That comes over time. Yes, the relationship with your symptoms must change to a neutral perspective coming from both sides. Yes, that has to happen. But you don't have to love your symptoms. You just have to guide the inner child. And sometimes it's going to take a high degree of emotion to convince the inner child of something different. Remember that. Soon, you will no longer search for what is right and what is wrong on your healing journey, but rather you will know. There's a big difference between thinking and knowing. Thinking head level, knowing heart level. That's where you're going. Did you enjoy this podcast episode? If you did, please give it a positive rate and review on your podcast directory as well. If you're listening and watching this on YouTube, comment below and tell me what you think about this new setup. Do you like it more than the old podcast episodes? I'd love to hear from you. And if you get a chance, please share this episode with a group or someone who needs it. And let's help more and more people become more than anxiety. I love you all so very much. If you have any questions on the #1 health anxiety program out there today, head over to theanxietyguy.com. And remember that you are more than anxiety. Bye-bye, warriors.